Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube lands, it's your boy Tuglow, and today we are going to be talking about a few tips that I think you should know before you start Girls Frontline. The first one is going to be a little different. It's going to actually deal with your settings. So these are the settings that I'm using. I have auto resupply turned off for a very specific reason. It's something that later down the road you'll also turn off. So if you just turn it off now, it'll just be easier on you in the beginning. Also, I have skill cut-in animations turned off and heavy damage protection turned off as well. The cut-in animations, if you like them, hey, by all means you can keep them on, but the heavy damage protection is something that you will want to turn off, as basically what that is once your T-Doll gets down to about 15% of their max HP, they will automatically leave the battlefield. You will want to leave that turned on, because if you are corpse dragging, or if you are just a-okay with allowing your character to go down into those smaller percentage of HP area, then you don't want them to leave on you, especially if it's like a boss battle. You just don't want that to happen. The last thing that I have turned off is the battle simplification. I don't know what it is, but I got it turned off. So that's going to be the first thing that you'll kind of want to take a look at. The second thing that I wish I kind of understood, I knew about it, I just didn't understand it, is team formation. So typically the team formation that you'll be starting out with is going to be 3 ARs and 2 SMGs. This team formation is going to be particularly good because once you progress through the storyline, you'll be able to pick up 4 different ARs for absolutely free. You will only get them one time, so you will absolutely need to use dummy cores in order to dummy link them. Those 4 AR units are going to be M4A1, M4 SOTMOD 2, STAR-15, and M16A1. The way in which that I took it to level these characters up, I went with M4A1 first because I saw waifu potential in there. But going with SOTMOD 2 or STAR-15 as your first and second options definitely are not bad. M16 is somebody that you'll want to save kind of for a little bit later down the road. Something that I also want to talk about since we're here is your actual team's star rarity. If you were to do something like this, let's say you had 4 5 stars because we had the rate ups. Unless you just have an ungodly amount of dupes for these characters, then this doesn't really apply to you. But I'm under the assumption that you don't. So let's say you have some characters like this, and you're like, hey man, I got let me just change this for sake of easy video. Alright, there we go. Let's say you have, hey man, I got the 3 ARs, I got 2 SMGs, but there are 4 5 stars. The reason why you want to avoid doing something like this is because it will eat away at your cores like that. You are not getting any cores, which, put simply, cores allow you to dummy link your character. They allow you to get what you see, this little X5, the X3, just basically puts another character, which makes your unit stronger. If you were to play Danmachi, it would basically be like limit breaking your character when you dummy link them. Now, the reason why you don't want to do this is because at level 10, level 30, level 70, and level 90, that is the opportunity for you to dummy link your character. However, at these levels, it is a little expensive, especially if you're using 5-star characters. At level 10, it'll take 15 cores. At level 30, it'll take 15 cores. At level 70, it will take 40 cores. And at level 90, it will take 45 cores. This is for 5 stars alone. So imagine these 4 characters hit level 10 at the same time. I now instantly have to spend 60 cores that I do not have starting out. So ideally, yes, it is going to be a little awkward that we're making a team with a lower rarity, But a good team to start off with would be someone like, let's say you have FNC, let's say you have a Scorpion. Hold up, what were those? SMG and AR. Let's see, another good one to use would, you know, you're gonna put somebody in from your AR unit. Another character that you're gonna want to potentially look at is, I don't know if I have them here. Here we go, MK2. And then, what do we have? Let's see. We have an AR, 2 ARs, 2 SMGs, so we'll need our third AR. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that you use someone like, let's say Sopmod or AR-15. I'll use AR-15 since Sopmod is being trained right now. So essentially, you know, you're gonna have something like this, you know? Whether you have 5 stars with you or not, doesn't really matter because they're so expensive early on. Now you say, Tug, why do you pick some of these characters in particular? Well, Scorpion, while you're leveling your account up, I believe you get her for free, just with your account levels. So she's going to be super easy to dummy link up to, you know, X3, X4, X5. Yes, she is a 3-star, and it does cost fewer cores, but you want to save those cores early on for people like M4A1, AR-15, anybody on the anti-rain squad. Now, you know, I picked somebody like MK2, I picked someone like FNC because they are just easier to come by, whether it be through the story. You know, you may be farming a certain chapter, and then boom, you get one of these characters. Now, another thing that you'll want to kind of pay attention to is your actual unit's class. If you are an AR, you are typically going to be your damage dealer. If you're an SMG, typically you'll be a tank. If you are a handgun, you're going to be a squishy buffing type unit. Same thing goes for rifles. You're going to be a little bit squishier, but you are going to pack a punch. With this being said, I know I didn't cover machine gun and shotgun. I'm still learning about those as well. But with that being said, for your SMG and AR team, you will kind of want to have your ARs in the back line and your SMGs in the front line. So it'll look something like this. So now we have, your combat effectiveness isn't really that important. It's just kind of, where are your buffs going? Are your buffs going to your big damage dealers, or are they kind of being wasted? Now, typically you want to try to get this type of P formation, just so that when the enemies come in, they will start to attack your SMGs first. Now, as you can see, we do have a good rate of fire buff going to AR-15. We got accuracy buffs going to the entire backline. Evasion on your assault rifles, it's kind of meh. They should never be getting touched because your SMGs will tank for you, but if they get it, hey, it's no big deal at all. FNC, now from your AR perspective, you want to be giving evasion buffs to your SMGs so that way they can continue to tank for a little bit longer. So the evasion by 12% is very good. M4A1 is a special case just for the sheer fact that she is, I believe, for right now, it might change in the future, she's the only assault rifle that buffs other assault rifles. So she's really good. The middle position is definitely where you're going to want to keep her if you choose to use her as your first one. You know, you could put Sopmod 2 in there and, you know, take M4A1 out. So this is just going to be good for your other assault rifles to help them deal more damage. Lastly, we do have AR-15 giving us a 12% evasion buff that in turn will help us tremendously, like I said, for our tanks. If I were to start off again, you know, for the second time, or I guess third time technically, this would be something for my team that I would run. Now, you don't get them off the bat, so let's go ahead and pick some different AR type units. To be honest, I never really messed with the lower level AR units, just for the sheer fact because I was stubborn and hard-headed and said, I'm going to start with FAL and Type 95, which were 2 5-stars, instantly threw myself into core hell. So that's why I'm trying to let y'all know about this so y'all don't do the same thing. Let's take a look and see what we can find. Let's see, this character right here, F2K, F2000, it's actually not a bad little buff. She is kind of frequent, so if you can run across her, that'd be great. Galil, actually Galil is very, very good starting out. I know she's somebody that I would rely on. This girl isn't too bad either. The thing that you want to look at is you want to look at their buffs. So I get an evasion by 10%, but you also want to look at their tile buffs to say, okay, now where would I have to put her in regards of, you know, my formation for my echelon for my team. The last thing you want to check out is the buff itself that she's going to give to herself. Increase self accuracy by 200% for 9 seconds. You ain't gonna be missing shots, baby. So she's actually a really good one. You know, let's just say until you get some AR units, let's just throw this girl in there. And now you have a team, or heck, you can even put Type 63, since she's an AR as well. Now you have a team that is extremely cost efficient and core efficient for the early game going forward. Now, once you get more characters, you can kind of get a feel and just kind of read what your characters do and how they play along to go forward. Saving those cores early on is going to be a huge deal. As you can see, I do have 147 and I still feel broke once I look at cores. Like I said, as soon as I get a 5-star character, let's just say up to level 30, I've already spent 30 cores on them. If I do that for 2 characters, boom, there goes 60 cores and I'm almost down half of what I have. So that's why it's very important to be careful about what you are doing for your team and for yourself. Now, later down the road, there are maps where it's extremely good to get a lot of cores, but we'll talk about that in another video. For the last point, I know this is a little bit on the long side, but for the last point, the one thing that I really recommend you doing is grabbing friends. So for me, here's my ID. I have what seems to be 16 spots. I'll add the first 16 that I see. Here's my ID. Feel free to add me. What you'll want to do is when you're going through the story mode, you will want to just clear it as fast as you can so you can get those characters. Once you clear it as fast as you can, by all means, be sure to use your friends if you get stuck. Even when I was going through it, there were times where I was like, dude, I need to have friend units because I only had one team. I didn't build 2, 3 different teams. I only built, you know, 1. So I was like, man, I need to use my friend units, and they really carried me through a lot of the story. Do not feel bad for doing that. That's literally what they're there for. After that, you get those characters, you level them up, then we'll start going into the nitty-gritty for where the game gets super big in grinding. That is all I'm going to have for this first video, kind of an introductory into Girls Frontline. Thank y'all so much for watching. If there's anything that y'all would like me to cover, please feel free to let me know, and I will cover it as quickly as possible. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you liked it, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's all I got for this one. So as y'all know, that's the fat lady singing, that's the bells are ringing. And until the next video, I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next one. God bless and peace out.